All right. Welcome to the Serious Angler Podcast, everybody. Here's where bass fishing education meets the more than occasional tangent here on the show. So, whether you're here to learn or just hang out on this fine Tuesday evening, you guys are in the right spot. I'm your host, Bailey Egbrett, and I'm here with the Bassin captain, Mr. Andy Full. Andy, we got a fun show going on tonight. But before we get into that, there's a lot.
Wi-Fi working.
Yeah, that's
not on our end this time, but
yeah. Thankfully, of course, the one time it's not on our end, it's on the guest end. That's okay. It's the fun things you get to deal with while podcasting. And so if you're in the live stream right now and you see the comments, we had a buffer in there a few minutes ago saying we're dealing with the Wi-Fi demons, and that's what I'm going to call them from now on. Is we're dealing with the demons in the Wi-Fi dungeon. You know, it's just one of those fun things with technology that does not make podcasting very easy, which is another reason why we're trying to do more in-person podcasts in 2025, just so we don't have to deal with that freaking crap. You just got one little central thing to figure out, and once that's good, you don't got to worry about the different little lanes of, oh my gosh. Dude, I had a text open when we started the show, and I apparently did my talk to text, so now I have a massive essay of our introduction typed out on my text
my gosh. I can't tell you how many times, like, when I'm out guiding and I'm, like, just talking into my phone because my hands are frozen, and I'll hit send, but then I leave the mic open, and I'll be like, whoa, 23-minute voice message. Do I even want to, like, mess with somebody and send this so they have to listen to everything I just said? Or this is going to be muffling. Like, it happens to me probably 5 to 7 times a day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny the things that they churn out when you do the talk to text. And I've now entered the old age stage in my life where I'd rather talk to text than actually text. Does that make me an old man now?
You're old.
Does that mean I'm a horrible son?
Diapers and call you
27 going on 60, baby. Let's go.
Just
I'm a horrible son, Andy. I was talking to my mother the other day, and she's like, you're 27. That means you're only 3 years away from 30. And I'm like, Mom, careful. When you play that game, I can play that game too.
Oh my gosh.
But I won't be a bad son. Say what I wanted to say, but I was like, if you're gonna say I'm close to 30, just imagine what age you're closer to, Mom.
Sometimes you just have to tell them the cold hard truth. Truth might hurt, but lying's worse. So
sorry, Mom.
You're old. No, just kidding.
Yeah, my mom's she's the only listener of this show, so it'll be all right. Speaking of that, dude, I'm actually really looking forward to getting down to Florida for Christmas for the holidays. My wife and I we're gonna pack up the truck, head south, and go see my family for the holidays. So looking forward to see the parents, grandparents, and we're gonna bring the kayak because we're driving down, and I'm gonna do some saltwater kayak fishing with my dad and my brother. Do some freshwater fishing. Gonna hook up with some people. Shot a text over to Mr. Keith Carson as well. Maybe we'll do some in-person podcast. Maybe we'll fishing, do some cool content while we're down there. So I got that to look forward to. And but before we get weeks down the road, we have a great show tonight, and we have especially if we can get the Wi-Fi figured out. Here is we're supposed to have Cody Huff join us here for some cold water bass. And worst case scenario, we either will call in an emergency guest or Andy and I will talk through these two, being that literally Andy and I fish a good amount of the year in the cold water, what most of the country would consider cold water. Let's say sub 50. Would you consider sub 50 cold, Andy, or do you do
I think I'm a little bit lower. I think I'm like sub 46, like 45, 46 is where I feel like bass truly start to slow down. You need to like change your approach. I feel like once the water hits 50, all bets are off and you can do whatever you want. Speed crank, big spinner baits, and they'll chase it pretty good. But
I also feel like that depends on part of the country you're from. Whereas like Florida, they're like minus 60. It's frigid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is fair. But I mean, bass is a bass. Like if they're intrigued, they'll chase still, even in cold water, as long as it looks right. So they got to eat.
You're already going through our cold water miss that we were supposed to go with Cody.
Well, I mean, I'm just giving my opinion. His opinion could be completely different.
Andy, this is why we get on pro guests here, because no one cares for our opinion. They just want who we're getting on the show.
That's true.
No,
I'll
you're good.
stop ranting now.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm totally messing with you. But as we wait for Cody to get on here, there's a couple things we want to run through with you guys. Obviously Black Friday was this past weekend, and it's just mayhem. I feel like you can't log on to any social media whatsoever without seeing a Black Friday sale or seeing 15 of Black Friday sales popping up on there. Yeah. But for you guys, if you missed anything Black Friday wise and you're still shopping, if you're like Andy and I, and you probably haven't done any of your Christmas shopping yet, at least like me, I haven't done anything, is you still have an opportunity to save some money, especially for Christmas presents, stocking stuffers, things like that. So if you have any fishing buddies, fishing family members, you guys can go down to the link below to Hobie Eyewear, get a nice pair of sunglasses. If you click on that link down below, it automatically adds 20% off to your order. You go to Hobie Eyewear, and honestly, guys, a little secret, that's all year round. That's not just the holidays. So you can always save 20% with us at Hobie Eyewear. And then Omni is running a whole bunch of stuff. Well, really fast. I've told you guys this before, but one of the things I do, and this is just because I'm a tackle junkie, is I'm always refreshing tackle pages every day on the new arrivals, but make sure you guys do that with Omnia because they just added some cool stuff. Some new Dual Realis jerk baits popped up in there, some new 6 Sense flutter spoons, as well as some new sprays and scents that came in. I know G-Crack added a new scent spray to that, which is, I might have to give that a shot. They just added clutch swim baits as well. So they added to their glide bait / swim bait lineup. Now as well on Omnia Fishing, they had a lot of sales this past weekend. So hopefully you guys took advantage of that. But Strike King, all of Strike King is 20% off. So you can go take advantage of that. All the links are down below where you guys can take advantage. And especially if you're a pro member right now, it's a great time of year to take advantage of pro member only sales. We've told you guys in the shows before, but right now to be an Omnia Pro member, it's pretty dang easy. You literally just use code SeriousPro and you get $5 off of the pro membership. So from $50 down to $45. And in doing so, spend $45 to get a year-long pro membership, which gets you 10% of your orders all back to you. So if you order $100 of tackle, you get $10 put in your account for your next order. As well as you get all the insane map features on top of that and access to different things that regular customers that are not pro members don't get access to, which is pretty wicked. So with that, you order all that, you get all those rewards. They're also going to say, hey, if you use that code, you're also going to get a $50 gift card put into your account automatically.
Unreal.
I mean, Andy, I'm horrible at math, but I feel like the math adds up on this.
You're making out like a bandit is what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're not making anything on this, so it's definitely encourage you guys to do so because it pays off dividends to be a pro member. Let us know if you guys do that. But we had Cody Huff in here for a second. We were about to kickstart the show, but I think we lost him again. Let me shoot him a text here. Let's see. But Andy, talk to us a little bit about the. We got to talk a little bit of football.
Oh. Yeah, Bills clinched the AFC East for the 5th year in a row. So I'm happy. The Eagles are running wild. So do you think Saquon breaks Eric Dickerson's rushing record this year?
He's on pace.
He's on pace. So is Derrick Henry.
But here's the caveat to that. He might not get it for the pure fact if they keep playing the way they're playing, they're going to sit him the rest of the year to a point.
Maybe. I mean, you are in a race with the Redskins. Well, Commanders, sorry.
Well, they're a few games behind now because they lost again.
Did they? I thought they won.
They lost to Dallas. Well, they won this past week, but they have 2 losses compared to us. And we got to the
you're what? Well, you're 8-3, right?
Yeah, we're 10-2, I think.
10-2 and 8-5. Yeah, so I mean, it's still kind of a race.
For sure. I just think though, once it's clinched, we're good to go. They're going to sit the starters to an extent. I feel like, and you can see it with Saquon. He had an opportunity to break his career high, and he decided to opt to give it to other running backs a chance to run. Where I think, in their mind, they'll be smart enough to be like, "Hey, playoffs are here. Sure, there's records. I mean, I guess it depends how far out. If it's somewhat attainable, they might. But I think they'd be smart enough to say, "Hey, let's just sit out for the playoffs."
You got a couple tough games coming up too. Panthers are frisky. I don't think that'll be an issue, but I mean,
Never know.
Steelers.
They almost
Yeah,
beat the Chiefs.
I mean, they've been frisky, and then you have the Steelers and the
Yeah,
Commanders.
hard game. Yep.
And the Cowboys, you never know what you're going to get in a rivalry game from them. They'll probably not show up at the end of the year, but who knows? The Giants, that's a cakewalk.
Well, depends. Probably all the backups in, but
yeah,
we'll talk more football here later on because let's try to get our guest here for tonight, first guest for tonight, Mr. Cody Huff on here, which actually we never specified. The second show, we have Dylan Grubb, extreme outdoorsman, coming to join us as well. And many of you guys might follow him on YouTube, social media. We're going to do a little fun game of Would You Rather, learn about his route through the social media realm of the fishing side. But before we do, it's cold water bassin time. So let's get him on and see if we can figure this sucker out with Mr. Cody Huff. Cody, we got you?
I got you guys. If you got me, we'll see.
Nobody touch anything. Back away from all electronics. We're gonna leave. We're gonna leave it as is. Well, buddy, appreciate you taking time out. We were just talking about some of the crazy snow and the football stuff and everything, and you're out there in Chiefs country. And what's everything looking like out in your neck of the woods, man?
Man, we just had a big cold snap. I was in northern Missouri this last weekend deer hunting, and a big snowstorm came through Kansas City. It hit south where we were hunting, unfortunately, but drove through Kansas City with a little snow on the ground. It's finally looking like winter around here a little bit.
Yeah. So this is always the hard time of year. My buddies and I joke about this, especially, I mean, I do with Andy a little bit, but more my hunting buddies, is that this is a really hard time of year to be in the north where it's the fishing can still be really good, but also it's like prime rut, especially a couple of weeks ago. You know, like you look at the days, you're like, man, should I go smash 25 pounds of smallmouth or do I go sit in a tree stand and try to kill a big one? It's always a hard time of year. Is that the same for you guys over in Missouri?
Yeah, it is. But like, it seems like our fishing always gets tough, like, you know, in the fall time, you know, August, into November, really. So a lot of times I just sell my boat right around end of October, beginning of November. And my new one comes in about the same time. So I'm still waiting on mine to get wrapped right now. It's going to get wrapped next week, and I'm going to kind of get back into it a little bit. But it's a nice little getaway, you know, just to go hunting for a few weeks and kind of forget about fishing for just a little bit, and kind of gives you that itch to get ready to go again.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I'm trying to remember who posted it. Somebody, I think it was Carl's brand, Fear My Heart. They posted like 103 or 107 days until the classic, something like that, for a countdown. And I'm like, and I thought for a second, I'm like, dang, that's close. That's like 3 months or so. And I'm like, wait, if the classic's that far away, then the first Elite Series Derby is even shorter time. So it's like, you might feel like things are starting to be, you know, quote unquote the off season, but it's like, you got to turn and burn pretty soon here.
Yeah, I know. It's about time to get all tuned up again and get ready to start catching some. It's, I like to fish in the wintertime anyway, because it's like some of the best fishing here. You know, from now till April, it's awesome here. So I'm ready to get back after them. I'm probably going to start my my tournament fishing here this weekend, kind of kick it off again and get back to fishing a couple days a week again.
Yeah, dude. And that is one of the reasons we got you on this as a cold water fishing segment, is because, I mean, one, from obviously following you on socials, two, the OG Wired to Fish videos that they got of you throwing the jig and wrap and the spoon and things like that. I mean, those are some of the videos I can remember before even starting this podcast that I remember watching and taking tips from. So it's, I'm looking forward to breaking down into some of this stuff with you, especially from the cold water realm, because, you know, we're talking about, you know, myths and tips here. And so there's definitely some myths that still pertain, I think, in the fishing realm, where people think a couple of different things. We're going to go through some with you. And so we'll kind of dive right into it. And the first and foremost one is, everybody thinks that when the water's, like, let me backtrack. What would you, because I asked Andy this earlier, from the north, he thinks that 45 degrees and below is cold. What would your temp line be where if it's below that degree, it's considered cold?
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, anything under 50 is pretty cold.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat with you too. We were joking saying it might be per region though, because like the Florida folks, If it's below 60, you know, they're ice fishing down there.
Right. Yeah. No. Hey, you know, no matter what the water temperature is, like I'm sure it's not exactly the same way down south, but when the days get real short, the fish know that it's wintertime. They don't have, you know, a lot of daylight to feed. And I just feel like it kind of kicks something extra into them and makes them want to eat a little extra.
And that's one of the things we want to dive into is that behavior of feeding, especially when the wintertime when temps get considered cold, is you hear the thing where it's like you got to slow way down. Like, especially when you hear about people throwing a jerk bait, they got to wait 30 seconds in between each twitch. Or when you're dragging, you gotta move it an inch per minute. Like you always hear like these crazy things from some of the old heads at the boat ramp type of deal. But like, what do you agree? Do you lean more agreeing or disagreeing on speed when it's cold?
I'm pretty much disagree 100% really. I just, you know, I've seen days when the water's freezing cold like that. You catch them on a wiggle wart going down the bank. I think no matter what, if you're around bass and you're fishing for, you know, active fish, you can get a reaction bite out of them. You might have to get your bait a little bit closer to them to make them react, but I feel like that speed isn't going to be the, you know, direct thing that causes or doesn't cause them to bite.
Right. And then that was one thing I see, especially when diving into it over the years, was some of the people speed cranking, you know, and the people that were really giving this, and especially throwing big baits too, when things are pretty cold, was people that are experimenting a little bit, and they'll take, I mean, like Tactical Bassin Boys is a great example, you know, with their speed crank, or their tactical crank that they made with River to Sea, where they're talking about they burn the living daylights out of it when the water's in mid or low to mid 40s and catching the fire out of them. So I think it's a great example of don't feel afraid to give that a rip. And I feel like too, when you hear about like when you rip a crankbait through a school, that sometimes you might bust that school up, where I feel like, and I'm asking, we're going to throw this to you, is do you feel like when the water's that cold and they're grouped up, they're less likely to bust and skirt off in those temps?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that a lot of times it's your bait that freaks them out. You know what I mean? I think whenever they feel more the presence of your boats around them, they see your boat, you drag it, they chase your bait up and see your boat, and they're like, yeah, you know, what's going on here? More so than, oh crap, something just ran by me, I'm going to run away. I think they're just too curious. You know what I mean? They get perked up and get excited, and they'll chase your bait to the boat. If they don't bite it, they see your boat, and then they start to know the gig's up, you know, more so in my opinion than just something swimming by them, scaring them.
Okay.
I get that. So, like, you know, you're fishing a wiggle wart, right? And you're up shallow-ish. So, like, a common myth is, you know, bass live deep in the wintertime. So, to kind of bust that myth, right? Like, how deep are you running that wiggle wart during the wintertime to get those bites?
You know, a lot of times not that deep. You know, you're no deeper than 10 feet, and which on clear water lakes like where I live is really shallow. But you know, live scope has helped us break this myth. You know what I mean? A lot of times, whenever it gets really cold, and you get a bright sunny day, man, those fish just, you know, will float up higher and higher, trying to get that sunshine, trying to get that warmth. You know, that the top 2 feet of the water is going to be the warmest that time of year. So they're not going to bury down there, you know, below the thermocline if they don't have to. If there's food above it, they can stay up there in the sun. And a lot of times I think the bait fish like to warm up as well. You know, you'll see those big clouds of shad get up near the top of the water. And I feel like that's what they're all trying to do.
Right. So you're burning that wiggle wart, right? And it's kind of cloudy, and all of a sudden the sun comes out and you see those bass rise. What is like a good follow-up bait that you would have to make those bass eat for you when the water's cold?
A lot of times a jerk bait or a Demiki, either one. But honestly, like I don't swap, you know, like if I'm up cranking the bank because I think there's fish up there, a lot of times the sun is going to make that better, in my opinion, because they kind of suck up and they'll get up on those big rocks and get on every little piece of wood, anything that's going to hold a little bit of heat. And And in my opinion, the best days to fish shallow are sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good notion for people that they hear, especially when you hit the fall time is uglier the better, which I definitely think rings true for the majority, but there really isn't a deterrent to regardless of conditions. Where if it's slick out, sunny out, and I'm sure it depends on the fishery, that there's still bass to be caught. You just need to completely change how you approach those fish. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, like even throwing a plopper or something like a little earlier in the fall, it seems like my best days are always bright and sunny. It just seems like they can see better, and I just think they're shallower. I mean, we see it with live scope all the time. Those sunny days, the fish rise off the bottom, they get up, they move around, and those cloudy days, sometimes you can go in the same areas and they're just gone, and it's because they're on the bottom. They'll suck to the bottom. It seems like cloudy day, the deeper they go, and I've seen it in a lot of different places. You see it on the St. Lawrence River, for example. Sunny days, big wads swimming on the flats, and those cloudy days, man, they're off in the depths, just off in the middle of nowhere.
Think so. For you, deciding whether to go fishing versus hunting is pretty easy. You're gonna go on those days when it's cloudy and a little bit nasty weather. You're gonna go sit in a stand, and then the nice days you're gonna go out fish.
Man, I think it just all runs together. You know what I mean? Because I would rather deer hunt on that exact same day. It's something about the pressure getting high. It makes something click inside all wildlife. You see it all the time. When your trail cameras start going off every day, they all start going off at the same time. It's the same way with the fish. That's when they want to eat too.
We won't go down this rabbit hole, but what I will say,
you want to,
I really want to, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off for a reason. If anybody's seen Matt Aries' social media, he went and put down a pretty big one. So congrats to Matt on that buck. But we're actually in the next couple of weeks, we got Matt Aries coming on the show. We're going to do like a full breakdown of big buck versus big bass behavior and how they are similar and compared. And that's going to be a really cool show. So yeah, that to look forward to. But yeah, I love that conversation, Cody. It's one that I can talk for hours.
I got something for you on Matt. You want to have that conversation with him. He came to Missouri. We had some Toyota and Bass Pro stuff to do out here. And Matt said, "Man, you think you could put me on a buck?" I said, "Well, yeah, absolutely." I said, "Come out here and let's hunt." You want to know what he decided to do instead of coming deer hunting with me? Play pickleball. So just remember if you're interviewing him in a week or two. He was playing pickleball while I was killing bucks. Just
got it. All right. Hey, I'm gonna take note of that. I'm gonna put that down right now because we will call this out.
Yeah, you better.
Why
news
is the pickleball scene become a big thing? Like I feel like I'm seeing this all over the fishing side, from the Scott Martin crew to Zaldane to Polnick. Like what is the rave of the pickleball crew?
I guess we're all getting old. I don't know. It's pawpaw game.
I thought that was like poker or something, not pickleball.
Cody, have you started playing pickleball yet?
No. I played one game one time, and it was just because it was part of a half and half pickleball and golf tournament.
See, what's funny is you got Matt Aries, Scott Martin, Canterbury, Zaldane. You got some of these older guys, and then you got Alex Redwine in the mix that does it pretty actively too. So yeah. Maybe he's just too old for his age.
Maybe it's a lot of fun. I don't know. I've never got into it. I'm sure it's fine. Whatever.
I've never seen the desire myself. It just looks like ping pong / tennis, and I just never had much interest in. I had some interest in ping pong, but more when I had a few drinks than me and you're with your buddies. That's about it.
Yeah, I might let my wife drag me up there and play it or something a time or two, but that's probably about as competitive as I'm going to get at it.
But you said the key word in that was drag you. Drag you to go do it. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we will bring that up with Matt for sure. That's a good one. Okay, so I think this is one of the last ones we have from the myths or what the doc talk has been around cold water fishing, and that is you need to downsize. You got to throw something small. They're not going to eat anything bigger when it's cold. But what would you say your take is on that?
I mean, in my mind, a lot of times that cold water fishing is a lot like kind of the same mindset that I have in like September. A lot of times I'm throwing something either really small or really big, not a lot in between. And a lot of times I'm fishing either one of them very fast, just trying to make one react.
That makes sense. I feel like, do you think people lean more towards the smaller bait approach versus the big baits, just simply not because one won't work, but more so you might just get more bites, so they think it works better than the bigger bait approach?
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, wintertime, man, I'll tell you what, it's hard for me to want to throw. I love to throw a big 3/4 and 1 ounce football jig in the wintertime. And I don't put no Stingray Grubb or something stupid on the back of it. I put it on a big flapping trailer just like you do any other time. And they don't seem to mind.
So this is interesting. I think we'll have to get Barden's take on this too. But my buddy went to ESF Bailey, and they did like a study on fish when the water gets cold. And shout out to my buddy Frank here. But he was telling me that the study concluded that when the water gets below a certain degree, what they can see underneath water actually shrinks. So if you upsize your profile of bait, the bass can actually see it, or fish can see it better, because basically their vision gets real blurry apparently or something when the water gets really cold. So by upsizing your bait, it creates more contrast, so they're able to find it better. So it has nothing to do with big forage or little forage. It's just, can they see it?
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I think that'll be a good one to hit on Barden.
We are always stocking the folder of questions for every time we get to talk to our pal Barden, which I'll keep laying some breadcrumbs, but we're going to see Barden a lot more next year, which I probably gave it away. But either way,
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yes.
For me.
All the above. It's going to be great, actually. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. Steve's an interesting one, Cody. He's our fisheries biologist friend of ours who he does the MLF fisheries management division. And he's an awesome one because he's a guy he's a Texan boy that likes to sit down, drink beer, but he's also a super nerd about fish. So you can ask him all these questions, which is hilarious after a few beers and you ask him all these fishing questions. The wizardry comes out. But it makes for a fun show. But
needs one of those guys.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Where all the theories kind of get thrown out the window and we're like, all right, we're gonna just talk to Steve. Steve will know. Well, let's kind of get into some tips. I mean, I guess before we get into tips, are there any other myths or famous little sayings that you've heard through the years about cold water fishing that we might be missing?
No, I mean, you guys hit it on the head. I mean, it's interesting. I think it's more so, find it is, have to trick them to catch them because, they get bitey when it gets cold. They want to eat something. But, it's weird for them, like around here, in fall time, they'll start getting out in the middle, chasing bait. But it'll be a point this probably January, into February. It's free. Once people get
losing you, Cody.
Starlink's failing him again.
Dang it, Elon. Save our boy. Now, hey, Cody, if you can hear me, try to back out and come back in again. We were doing so good. We were going 30 minutes strong. Oh, we got
bad
you.
Day.
Oh. Let's see.
Zoom
we got you now.
out.
Yeah, try to back out, Cody, and come back in. It's all froze up on us here. This is the fun part about podcasting, folks. Especially the fun part, I should say, about live streaming is there's no cutting this. So it's the fun part about all that and dealing with technology. But either way, trying trying to think what he was trying to get at there, because we were about to go down the tips segment here of talking about cold weather bass and where to go find these fish, what to have on deck for these when you're chasing these fish. So we're gonna get into that if we can get them back here on the show. If not, Andy and I are gonna break down some of that with you guys, and then here in about 20-30 minutes, we're gonna get on our boy Dylan Grubb here and dive into a whole other segment. But I think we got Cody back. Let's see. Cody, we got you.
10-4 Pigpen, come on back.
Yeah, where's that?
There he is. That's like southbound and down, I think. Is that
absolutely.
it? Yeah.
I had no idea. So, Cody, I don't know where we left off on. Where did we lose you?
Oh, I don't know where you guys quit hearing me, but I was just talking about, how fish, around here at a certain point this winter, they're all going to, leave the bait and go back to the bank again. And it's just kind of a weird array of things that do happen once the water gets to a certain temperature that seems like they want to get off the shad and go back to eating crawfish and bluegill and a little bit heartier meals.
Okay. Now for people that are going out fishing, say they've either been busy at work, family stuff throughout the holidays, or maybe they've been out in deer woods and they finally tagged out and they can get the boat out and go fishing. And it's one where they haven't been out a couple weeks, temperatures and the lay of the land's completely different. So from your mind, what's the approach? Where are they even going to start, I guess, looking for fish when water temps are 50 or below? When you see that, maybe say they're in their mid 40s, like where are you going to look?
It for me, it depends, what kind of lake you're on. But if I'm, on a high mountain reservoir, I've got a Damiki, a jerkbait, and a jig. And I'm going to start secondary, whether that's long pockets, creeks. I want to find them as far back as I can to start and, work my way out to figure out what stage the majority of the fish are in. And just kind of start picking them apart from there, whether they're on bait fish, whether they're on brush, or whatever they seem to be on. You just kind of got to, figure it out each day.
Well, you asked part of the second question we were getting to was what was going to be on deck for you, and it seems like you don't have a lot of different things on deck ready to go this time of year. It's a pretty good cycle, I guess, of what they might be eating.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends if you're trying to catch fish to win or you just want to catch fish. There's lots of other things you can mix in to catch fish. Of course, I might have an A-rig out or something like that. But as far as just keeping it simple, those are the only three things that I feel like I need to go catch bass and catch big bass as far as this time of year.
Now, take the competitive side out of it and this more pure enjoyment. What's one rod, bait, and all that jazz that you got locked in your hand this time of year?
I'll probably be crappie fishing. I'll get me old Bobby Garland out and go to town.
So you're not even going for bass. You're screw that. We're going crappie.
No, you're going to get the grease hop probably.
That's awesome. All right. Well, for our bass fishing friends, what would you, if you had to choose one?
Well, I mean, if you're going to go just fish and you have live scope, of course, just go out there with the Damiki and just daub around and figure out how to catch some. But, the wintertime can be a very tricky time to catch fish if you don't like to use your electronics and stuff like that. So, I mean, if I'm not doing that, I'm probably going to go throw a jerkbait on bluff ends and, just the stuff that looks good, chasing the wind, trying to find, what I would be using my electronics to run into, just using your instincts, just fishing those really high percentage areas, that they might kind of be blown up on, whether that's a point, secondary point, bluff end, any kind of good feeding area close to deep water.
That makes sense. And then go ahead, Andy.
I was like wintertime, right? Like, and you're trying to get fish to move and come eat. Do you kind of move more towards like flashy sided jerk baits, or are you still running like your translucent ones that are real clear?
I just match it to the watercolor. If I've got a dinge, I'll throw a bone. But, most of the time I'm throwing some kind of, pro blue, matte, something real natural looking. But for the most part, I don't do the real slow jerk baiting like you guys were talking about. I used to when I was a kid. We used to do it all the time. We caught the heck out of fish, but I feel like we're all learning that the fish are kind of evolving. Live scope taught us a lot, and not very many times do I stop it and let them sit there and stare at it and them ever bite.
I was gonna say, have you seen that with live scope, or have you tried doing that, where you do the
Oh yeah,
10-second, 20-second pause?
yeah. You just feel like an idiot because you watch them swim right up there, nose it, turn around, swim off, spin around, come back, look at it. It's just like, man, whenever
Bro,
those fish
just
used
eat.
to bite back in the day, they had never even seen a jerkbait probably, and there was probably 20 of them fighting over it. It just took them that long to get to it.
Where if we didn't, if we had no idea, we had no live scope, that fish probably looked at it 3 different times and just finally decided to make up its mind and eat it. Where we had no idea what was going on.
Dude, I remember being a kid, it being freezing cold in the early springtime, casting on one of those long-billed Stacy's, those little Lucky Crafts, out the back of the boat and just dragging that thing just on a spinning rod, just sitting there waiting, just making one cast for like 5 minutes. And it was horrible. We didn't catch crap.
I'm going to test your Stacey knowledge. Was it a version 1, 2, or 3?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even own one anymore.
This is the tackle nerd here talking, Cody. You'll have to.
Do you know what a Stacey is, Bailey?
I do know. I do not own one, but I do know what you're talking about. I don't know
Jerkbait
the different versions.
Smallies. Yeah, it's basically sink rate, I believe, is the different versions on them.
And this is why
I had no idea. I never got that deep into them. I haven't threw one in years.
Yeah, there's some colors they discontinued in like 2010 that I know a lot of the guys around here were really upset about because smallmouth just loved them.
We used to throw that like kind of black back with like a baby blue, and then it rolled to silver. That's one we used to throw.
I think the art of the 10-second pause and things like that is a dying art now, that with technology kind of showing that we don't need to do that anymore. You can certainly do it, and you can, like you said, you can still definitely catch fish doing it, but you got that forward facing, which will add another to the jar here. You can definitely be way more efficient now.
Yeah, I think it's very effective around cover, around grass, around brush, standing timber, stuff like that, where you are afraid you're going to get hung up if you move it. I feel like kind of plays a bigger role in a situation like that, more so than just going down the bank.
Yeah. It's for this time of year. I feel like you need, you can have some great days to your point. You can definitely go catch a lot of fish. You can catch some big ones. I definitely feel like, though, there needs to be an added sense of patience, especially when we're talking about people that maybe have took a break to go hunt for the fall and they're coming back in to fish for the winter, where they came hot off of, speed cranking down the bank, which you can definitely catch them here. But I feel like there needs to be an added sense of patience because things might not be too hot and heavy, where I feel like, my opinion is very window focused, but I'm curious your take on that. Like throughout a fishing day, like you're going to have certain windows where it's going to be hot and heavy, where else throughout the rest of the day it might be here or there.
I think that's 100% right. I see it all the time. You're fishing for them, you're around them all the time, and they only bite early in the morning, late in the afternoon, whatever. There are definitely windows, but I also think there's not as many fish in these lakes as what people think. There's a lot of areas there are not fish. They don't live there. There's not very many. I think you have to be in a good area that's alive and productive to even give yourself the chance to get around them and have a good day.
Now, are you saying that off of the actual lake's population, or are you saying this time of year they're just so grouped up that there's dead areas?
I think they're grouped up, and I just think that, in a lot of lakes that there's just areas where they've already migrated out of, or there's not that many in that creek arm because there wasn't many shad. They're in the one next to it. I just think there's lots of variables that, you can go for miles with your live scope and look around in different places and never see crap. And then all of a sudden you go in this one area and you're like, every fish in the lake is in here. That's probably because every fish in the next 2 or 3 creeks came to that one because that's where it's going down.
They're huddling for warmth.
I don't know. I think they move a lot more than people think because, like this year, Bull Shoals, for example, like it's we had the lowest year we've had in a long time, like water level, and it's like there's not any fish in the river because they decided they don't know where to go. They got low, the bait fish left, and like there's not a fish within 20 miles of there hardly. Like, you catch some, but they're like little resident rat, not big ones, and it's so interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other myth that you could get into too. Is when a bass when it's that cold, they just hunker down the bottom, they don't move. Like you see them at the Bass Pro Tank, and that's the one that's sitting in the crevice in the rock, and it's not moving anywhere. That's what people assume that happens all winter long. Which, to your point, I mean, Andy and I, at one of our lakes here in New York, it's a big ice fishing lake, and they can go and prove that these smallmouth do not sit on the bottom throughout the winter. They chase almost just as hard as they do in the summer through the ice, which
smallmouth are an entirely different breed of fish, though. They're wild. The more you think about it and study them, they're just wild.
But I would say after limited time with a spotted bass, I would probably put spotted bass more on the crackhead side than smallmouth. Cody, would you agree on that front?
Spotted bass are ignorant. I can't stand them. They give me a headache. Like, I have never caught a big spotted bass like doing anything like you would expect to do. Like, we have Kentuckys here, and like they're normal. They're fine. You can catch them. Like, they'll stay where you find them. They bite, whatever. But like a true spotted bass, I've never caught a big one unless I was largemouth fishing. It's like you have 9,000 little buddies out there, like living in the abyss, eating stuff. But nope, once you get over 3 pounds, you're going to go to the bank and just live up there.
Just beat everything up that lives around it, right? And this is my home type deal.
Yeah, those things suck. I don't like
them. I mean, 24 schedule was basically a third of the schedule was a spotted bass fishery.
I know. It
must have been tough on you then.
Yeah, so stupid things.
I mean, you say that, but then you finish and you're what? Your 5th angler of the year?
I didn't weigh in many spots.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Touche. That's awesome, dude. Well, Andy, you got anything else here for Cody? Is there something we're missing on the cold water side?
No, I don't think so. Nothing. I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's. Oh, here's one. Actually, meant to ask this earlier. But when we're talking about, like you mentioned, even some of the fair weather days where it's sunny, slick, how you can still definitely catch those fish. To a similar front, people that are getting up and they don't want to, because things are cold, they might show up late to the boat ramp this day. They might get out 30 minutes after sunrise or whatever that may be. Do you think there's still an advantage for those that are willing to endure the little cold winter bite the hour, say, before sunrise? Maybe not an hour, but as you start to see a little bit of sun, it's worth getting out then for that bite?
I think there definitely is a window. Some days it's shorter than others, but in my opinion, the best time to fish in the wintertime is an hour before dark. That's my favorite, is like whenever the sun's been shining all day, the bait fish are really sucked up to the top, and it's just, I don't know, I've had some of the most insane afternoons and like in the wintertime whenever it's cold and nasty, and just right before dark, it's just like they go insane. I don't know, just for whatever reason, that's my all-time favorite time to fish. Just the last 2 hours of dark in the wintertime.
I wonder if it's almost so when we talk about bass over a month span from fall or summer leading to fall into winter, where the bite will pick up because they realize the days are getting shorter, which you mentioned earlier, and the bite might pick up and they might feed heavier, and they realize they know these things year over year. I wonder if that's almost like on a micro level on a day-to-day basis where they realize things are getting darker. Maybe that's just kind of like on a micro level, something clicks where they need to go feed heavier before it gets dark.
It could be for sure because I mean, it's like it seems like it's clockwork. That time of year, it's like you can count on it. It's as warm as it's going to be that day, and they're going to be eating. It's I don't know. It's just either that or maybe they eat all night and they're so excited to they're kind of like a deer, trying to go to a food plot. They just the only reason they come in the daylight is because they're excited. They try to go get started a little early, and maybe it's kind of that kind of deal. It's hard to say, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go dive into another whitetail versus bass comparison, I mean, you got your morning window, your evening window, and the random giant during lunchtime.
They're the same. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's wildlife.
It is. It's all of it.
That. Yeah. Oh, it's the nighttime thing is interesting too, especially here in New York. I got some buddies that I won't fully, expose it here, but they will go fish at night with big baits when it is like cold,
mm-hmm.
and they will still smash them when it is tough during the day. And I think there's definitely something to that, especially at the nighttime. And anybody that does fish at night probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it is that I mean, here we go, Andy. There's another topic for our boy Barden to dive into here. But it's a cool deal how that happens. And Andy, in a joking manner, said that's wildlife, but I think that it's extremely true because you see it not even just deer and fish. And something about
humans.
yeah, full moons, boy. You better get ready. I don't know if you've ever heard those comparisons before. Like, if it's a new moon, you better watch out, like for crime. Like, I feel I heard all these wacky.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, full moon truly brings out the worst in people.
I've heard that like with cats, but it was only a couple of years ago. I heard it with that. It's the same thing with humans too. Like there's actually like legit data that crime activity is up on a full moon. Which is like
everything's up on a full moon.
I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Sense. But all right, so Cody, I guess if you had to pick a certain region of the country this time of year when things get cold to go fish, where would you choose?
I like it right here where I live. If you want to, have a chance to go somewhere and catch a pile of fish, that's just what I like to do. I'm not one of those guys that goes out and fishes all day to catch one big one. I would rather catch, 100 2-pounders than I would 10 5-pounders. And that's just what I enjoy. I feel like, honestly, you can kind of draw a line straight across the country, over to Dale Hollow and those areas, that East Tennessee, North Carolina, and they have a lot of lakes that are really similar, and seems like they do the same stuff.
Well, you might say you like catching 100 2-pounders, but buddy, this past year you were pretty good at catching 5 big ones.
Well, that's fine too. I like that. I enjoy it in a tournament. I'm just talking about having fun and catching fish.
Fish is a fish.
That's right.
Well, dude, one, just appreciate you taking time to come out on the show and drop some knowledge on us and the folks. But I guess what, two, going forward 2025, what should the people look out for you? Obviously fishing on the elites, but is there anything big coming up for you in the new year?
I've got it's kind of an interesting year. I've made a big change sponsor wise. It's gonna be awesome. I'm pretty excited for it. And it's not that I didn't like everybody I worked with. They were awesome. But this is actually kind of the first time I've told anybody, but I've went all in 100% Bass Pro Shops with all their plastics, all their hard baits, rods, reels, clothes. This is going to be the first year and like the first boat that everything that's in my boat, everything that's, I use, you can just go on Bass Pro and load your truck and boat. And that's what I'm using for tournaments this year. So I'm kind of excited about it.
Dang. Congrats, man. I mean, you were already Bass Pro rods, reels, right?
Yeah. Rods, reels, and boat and rain gear before, and ended up going with the hard baits and soft baits and all that this year. So it's gonna be pretty cool. I've got to help them make some really awesome baits already, and kind of excited to see how they do.
Yeah, dude, that's big. That's big time. That means, I mean, if you're all in Bass Pro Shops, that means you get free access to fish the tanks, right?
I wish. I got to work on that. Try to get work for my contract.
Well, hey, when you do, just remember there's two people that brought that idea on a live podcast.
Okay.
I would love also a free cast.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Just one. Just one.
Just one time. Just one time. Well, dude, appreciate you taking time out. Congrats on that. That's huge.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing all that come to fruition in 2025. And buddy, good luck on the road. We'll be in touch. Obviously, hopefully get you on some more shows here throughout the winter in 2025. And man, we'll see you down in Texas for a classic.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you, Cody.
Too.
There you have it, folks. Mr. Cody Huff. Appreciate him coming on the show here and
Good
chatting
stuff.
through some winter, well, not more winter, but just cold water. Because I guess I say winter and really for us in the north and like for us and our new guest coming up here as well, Dylan from Michigan. I mean, for us, that's like basically late September to May. We have somewhat quote unquote cold water. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
in a normal year. The last few
normal.
falls have not been normal, but yeah.
No, it's. But do you think this year it's definitely colder faster than recent years?
No, air temp wise, no, it's definitely taken a lot longer. Lake Erie, up until this past weekend, was about 6 degrees warmer than average.
Oh,
So yeah, it was warm. It was a warm fall.
dang. Well, at
'Cause
least
what
I remember
happened
getting the
was-
snow this early.
A lot of times what happens is like October hits and you'll get a lot of like mid 30, low 30 degree nights. And we just never got that. We got a lot of stability, like mid 40s to mid 50 degree temperatures. So it didn't allow that lake to drop quick.
Yeah.
So, and that's what really helps to lower water temp is when you get those ice cold nights because the nights are longer. And we just didn't have any until I think in November. We had a couple nights that were down in the 30s, but that's about it.
Well, I could say I've heard from in the Adirondacks, at least for us New Yorkers, the Adirondacks, the Southern Tier, already iced over. Not fully, but
I'm sure some
there's
places
already
are.
a layer. Yeah.
Which is late, honestly. Like there's a lot of places that, I mean, when I used to ice fish, I've been on ice at the end of November in spots. Like
It'll be interesting to go to some of our Finger Lakes here and look, because especially with the forecast, because it does not. I don't see any warmer weather coming up
until Sunday when it's 47.
But it's still going to be in the low 30s overnight, so it's still going to be
but
we got a whole week in the low 20s and high teens, at least here in Buffalo. And let's see,
I wonder what Lake Erie's water temp is as we speak.
Well, we can talk about this after the show in regards to when we have our outro. But more importantly, we got a whole second guest coming on here for tonight that we're going to get on. Mr. Dylan Grubb from Extreme Outdoorsman. We're going to get him on here in a second. But hopefully you guys appreciate that show with Mr. Cody Huff. And we'll be getting to part 2 of tonight's live stream with Mr. Dylan Grubb here after a message from Hobie Eyewear.
I have to have the best eyewear.
My eyes are essential to doing my job.
It's the highest quality lens that I've ever used.
Top of the line performance in these glasses.
But they're priced for absolutely everyone. The everyday angler can afford them.
As a touring professional pro, if I can depend on them, I know the weekend angler can as well. Hobie Eyewear, built for the pros.
Price for everyone.
All right, folks. For folks that are just now tuning in, we are back for part 2 of tonight's show. We're bringing on Dylan Grubb from the Extreme Outdoorsman. We're going to bring him on here in a second. But if you guys are, again, just tuning in, I'm your host, Bailey Agbrett, and we're here with the Bassin Captain, Mr. Andy Full. We just had a great segment with Cody Huff talking about some cold water bassin. And now we're switching gears. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to obviously talk fishing. We're going to have a good time doing it. And so without further ado, let's bring him on here. Mr. Dylan Grubb, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, dude.
It's been a long time coming, dang.
Yeah,
been
no
watching your
kidding,
guys'
dude.
show forever, it seems like.
Yeah, dude, we see you pop in on the comments and the live streams now and then. But yeah, dude, you're right. I mean, in the 5+ years of us doing it, it should not have taken this long to get you.
Yeah, I feel like we've known about each other forever. I don't even
Yeah,
know
that's
how
the same
long. Like you said, probably 5 or 6 years or longer, maybe.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely been a minute, but we're glad to have you here. We got to break the ice, and then it'll be just trickle down from the shows going forward.
Yeah, we'll have to collab on. I'll come up to New York and do some fishing or something sometime. That'd be pretty cool to come up there. I've never been to New York at all, so.
And
Well,
cool.
you're in Michigan, right, Dylan?
Yeah.
So how far from Detroit are you?
I'm like an hour north of Detroit, sort of in like the Thumb area.
Oh, that's easy.
So
That's
I'm
like a
like-
4-hour trip.
It's like
Yeah.
a 4.5 hour trip if you drive through Canada.
Oh yeah. I've been to Niagara Falls a few times, and I take through Canada, so
Yeah.
it's not really that far, to be honest.
Yeah, that's like 20 minutes from both of our houses.
Oh dang, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I wanted to bring my rods when I went there, but I didn't know how the fishing was or anything.
Yeah, I don't think they allow you to fish like above the falls
Yeah.
anymore. You used to be able to back in like the 90s, but I think after like September 11th, they've kind of shut all that down.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to film a video fishing Niagara Falls or something.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like right in the middle between Saginaw Bay and Lake St. Clair. So both of them's about like an hour away. So
Okay.
it's hard to really choose which one to go to because they're both amazing fisheries, you know?
Well,
100%.
that's great because literally the first would you rather I have was would you
Yeah.
rather drop shot smallies on St. Clair or go frog Saginaw Bay?
Probably frog Saginaw Bay. It's crazy up there. I actually started fishing it with my buddy Blue Jays outdoors. You've probably seen him
Yeah.
fishing with me, but I didn't really ever fish up there a ton. And I just, yeah.
There you go. I got the pink frog sitting on
Yeah.
the desk.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, he's the one that turned me on to that probably 2 or 3 years ago. I just met him through my social media and stuff. He was a big fan of my channel, and we just got together one day and he took me up there and we just slaughtered the largemouth. We probably caught like 80 to 100 all on topwater frogs. Then I just fell in love with Saginaw Bay. But there's some really good smallmouth fishing up there too, as you guys have seen, and all like the MLF and bass tournaments up there now.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the smallmouth on Saginaw are a little bit more few and far between compared to other Great Lakes, but the largemouth fishing definitely shines every time people go there. It just seems like it's hard to find. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like for Saginaw largemouth, the numbers are incredible. It's finding one bigger than 3 pounds. That's an extreme struggle.
Oh yeah, it is. You can go around. You can literally launch at any boat ramp, and as soon as you see like tall weeds, just go fish over there. You can catch 100, like 1-2 pounders, you know. But really finding the bigger fish is tough out there. Like you gotta cover a lot of water to try to find those bigger ones. But I've been fishing up there now for probably like 3 years now or something. So I've got some pretty good canals and like different reed patches and offshore grass and stuff. So I've caught some pretty big ones out there over the years so far. It's pretty fun going up there. I just need to figure out the smallmouth bass up there. It's tough.
Smallies.
Yeah,
I know how to catch them on St. Clair, but Saginaw Bay is just a whole nother level.
I mean, you see the best of the best go up there, smoke them one day, and the next, it's like they are complete.
Yeah.
They're ghosts. They're ghosts
Yeah.
up there. Seems very difficult. But,
Yeah, one of my really good buddies went up there a few days ago and had like, I think 29 pounds. And he told me he was fishing in like 3 to 4 foot of water.
A
I was
smallmouth?
like, that's insane. Yeah, smallmouth. He sent me a bunch of pictures. I was like, holy crap. Where are you at?
I was going to say, that's the question. Did he send you original images on iPhone? Because if you do the swipe up, you can see the location.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, I
there's
know
a
where
fishing
he's
tip
at.
for you fools out there. If your buddies, be careful. One, what pictures you're sending to your friends, and then two, the
Yeah.
pictures you do get. You get
Yeah.
little nuggets.
You can actually turn the location off now when you send photos too.
There you
Really?
go.
go.
Do that.
So if you
I
want,
didn't even know that trick.
if you want people to know where you are, don't turn it off. But if you don't want them, yeah, if you don't care, doesn't matter. But
You're
you don't-
sending us fish pictures. Keep your location on.
Yeah, and everyone always wants to blur out the background. It's hilarious.
yeah,
I love when
Yeah.
people blur out trees or the shoreline. It's cool. Everybody already knows where you're at.
I'm definitely guilty of that to an extent. I did it a couple of weeks back. I posted a
Yeah.
YouTube video, and I didn't blur out the background, but
Yeah.
I realized in editing that my Helix unit had the map of where exactly I was.
Oh,
I was fishing
dang.
offshore, so I had to blur that out. I'm like,
yeah,
I
I do
can't show that.
too. Yeah, got some hot spots.
Yeah, you can't give away all the juice. You could do your
Yeah.
best to see where the background's at and
Yeah.
put in the work. But dude, before we get down further the rabbit hole here of a show with you, it's your first time here on Serious Angler, and we have this tradition. Every time it's your first time on the show, we like to throw it back to the beginning of how the hell you got started and who's to blame for this lifelong addiction. And I'm sure I know where yours is going because you have an incredible channel with fishing with your pops and this different stuff you guys do. But we'll love to hear that story, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely my dad that started it. He's been fishing his whole life, and growing up, he fell in love with bass fishing on his own because his dad and brother never really fished or anything, and he just started bass fishing, and then he had me and my twin brother, and then we just started fishing like crazy together, and we were fishing a bunch of tournaments, and just one day I decided, like, why don't I like buy a camera and like start filming all our fishing trips together, just like so we can watch them down the road and just see all our greatest memories together and stuff. And I just thought it'd be pretty cool. So I went and bought all the GoPros and like cool cameras and everything. And I started just posting stuff I started out on Instagram back in the day when Instagram was like just starting. And you could grow like thousands of followers a day, back in those days. But yeah, I just started posting on Instagram and like collabing with other people and filming all me and my dad's fishing trips. And I guess people just really enjoyed me fishing with my dad. And a lot of people really like that because not that many YouTubers or content creators fish with their dad,
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty cool filming all that stuff with my dad because later in life, like when he passes away, like I'll be able to watch every video, all the best like fish catches we ever had together.
Yeah.
So
That's the cool thing about it, man. I think the reason people like that is because it's relatable.
yeah,
Or it's, not everybody can relate to you going out and doing a Walmart challenge in a video where they might enjoy watching it, but I think people resonate harder with stuff like that. Whether it's a father taking a son fishing, mother taking a son fishing, or whatever it may be, that just hits harder, and I think people like to see that as well. So that's pretty cool, man.
I'm always getting messages of different like dads or kids saying they love watching my videos because they love seeing my dad in them. Even they're like, we love when your dad's in the video, like when he's not in the videos, people question like, where's your dad? Like, what happened? Or but he works out of town a lot, so whenever he's back in town, we'll do some fishing or something. But like, he just got home about a week or two ago from a job in Illinois, so he'll go work out of town for like 3-4 months and then come back for like a month or two. And so that's when we really try to make a lot of cool videos together. We'll go hunting or fishing or whatever, just hang out,
Yeah, shoot, you guys go to Ohio for some bow hunting, don't you?
Yeah, we just got back from Ohio like last week. It was fun. Usually my twin brother goes, but he's super busy with work now too. So me and my dad went down there for like a week, and we saw some deer, but no shooters really. We like to try to wait for the bigger bucks, you know?
Yeah. So for people who don't know, you have a twin. Who's the older one? That's the question.
Me by 1 minute though.
By 1 minute.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
yeah, that counts though.
A win's a win, baby.
Yeah, for real.
100%.
Yeah, it's cool though. We used to do everything together. We're pretty much like, we're not identical, but we look identical. The doctors must have got it wrong or something. Because we're
I was gonna
literally.
say, I saw a picture of you guys, and I'm like, yeah, you're pretty much carbon copy. Like,
we
Control
are.
C.
Yeah, we're like the same. We're same body figure, same height, same weight, same hobbies, everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, same beard, same.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
real. Same accent too.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
dude, that is probably the one thing that I've seen from your channel that is so much fun to watch. One is the people teasing you about your dad beating you up on fishing, or your dad beating your butt on fishing.
Yeah,
But then the accent stuff. How many people ask you if it's fake?
millions. Literally, just not even on social media too. Like, obviously, you guys see it on my channel, YouTube, Instagram, everything. But like, even my day to day, like when I go grocery shopping, like, or I meet people at the boat ramp, or like if I like go to like McDonald's even, and I go order through the drive-through, like I'll be like, "Hey, can I get a Big Mac?" And the person's laughing in the microphone, like,
What a jerk.
what's going on here? Is this a joke? And I'm like, no, the heck? Just take my order. I'm
Yeah, actually,
hungry.
this be free now.
Oh yeah, for real.
Jeez.
It's hilarious. I get it every day. It's not that bad, I don't think, but I guess I can't hear my own accent, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And it's a
people
weird thing
ask.
too, like even from us as podcasters, there's nothing worse I hate than listening to my own voice.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
for whatever
yeah.
reason, like my wife she knows that. And
Yeah.
she uses it against me, that little demon.
Yeah.
I say that because she's upstairs. And she
Yeah.
can hear me. So she will play my videos and know that I hate my own voice.
My dad does that. I'll like come back to the house, and I'll come in, and he'll just be sitting there watching my videos, and I'm like almost embarrassed. Like, why do you just sit and watch my videos all day? But he's just a proud dad, you know. He
I love that
loves
part.
rewatching all our fish catches and like everything, you know. He loves when we go down to Florida together every year. We have a lot of really cool trips we do every year. So that's really a cool thing that we have. We go to Florida every year for like 2 or 3 weeks. And we do that Ohio trip every year. So we definitely have some fun moments together. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So with that, my last question on it, where do people think you're from usually when do they follow up with that
There's
question?
yeah. There's usually like 3 places people say. What do you guys think?
I'm going to get Minnesota first.
Yeah, that's one thing people always say. Either Minnesota, Canada, or everyone thinks I'm from California, like a surfer bro. Like, what the hell?
On that.
Yeah. And
That's
with my long hair too, it makes it even, you know, I guess I look like a surfer bro or something, but I don't know. I got it up in a bun right now. I normally like to put it down, and I'm fishing, you know.
There you go, dude. There's your April Fool's Day
Oh,
post
yeah.
where you just put up braids like a Rasta bro. There you go.
Yeah, and everyone always thinks I'm like Seth Fighters look-alike. I get that all the time in my comments, like, "Hey, are you related to Seth?" Or, you know, I don't know. I get that a lot on all my YouTube posts and stuff. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Shoot, dude, you slap on a fighter jersey, shave the beard to a mustache, have the hair out. I mean, you're pretty damn close.
Yeah, I did that a couple of years ago. I shaved all this off, and it was just my mustache, and I did like a picture just how he was posing. I was like, dang, I do look like him, sort of. I just need to lose a few pounds, probably.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You
if
just need
Seth
to
Fighter
drink-
hit the gym every day. Yeah.
You just need to freaking hit some more darts and drink a lot of Mountain Dew, and I guess
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
be right.
Yeah. Yeah, I hung out with him earlier this year over at St. Clair. So that was pretty cool. I went and helped film a Zona show with him and Seth. So that was pretty sweet. It was
Yeah, that's
fun.
sick. He mentioned recently on a straight cast that he wants to fish with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I seen that. That was pretty cool.
Like, yeah, man.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
a fun
need to get
collab.
up there and fish with him. That'd be sweet.
Dude,
Yeah,
you could have
seen-
some pretty funny content of like the doppelganger or
Yeah.
like the when you have some have you seen those where oh, what's the term I'm using for? But like on the movies, like they're the main actors back up. What do you call it?
Yeah. I
You know what I'm talking
forget.
about?
Yeah, I know what you mean. The backup, the
Yeah.
one that's supposed to look like him and not get hurt,
Yeah,
or like the
Yeah.
main guy not
Yeah.
get hurt. I know what you mean.
Yes. We just send you to the place, like send you to Omnia, send you to all the places that Seth goes, and just see how
yeah.
far you can go.
Yeah.
Like,
Just show up to like a tournament in his boat and truck.
yeah.
Everyone would be running over wanting a picture or something. That'd be funny.
It'd be good.
Dude, that would be hilarious. That'd be some great
Yeah.
content. Here.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like Seth.
Yeah, Seth's awesome, man. He's one of the real ones, if you will. Like you ain't gonna get any BS out of him, but
Yeah.
that's cool. So buddy, we got a little fun game. Obviously, we're gonna talk bass fishing, I'm sure, throughout this as we have, but we got a little fun game of Would You Rather. And so for people tuning in, or even for yourself, in case you don't know the game Would You Rather, it's basically just we give you two different scenarios. You got to pick one and then maybe expand upon why you picked it. So kind of like we did with the Saginaw versus St. Clair deal. So some of these are fishing, some of these aren't fishing. Some of these are pretty good. So the first or second one, I guess, because we already asked you the first one technically was St. Clair and Saginaw is so if would you rather be forced to sing or dance to every single song you heard for the rest of your life?
Probably sing.
You're
love
not a dance
singing.
guy.
No, I'm not a dance guy. I guess maybe when I get a few drinks in me at like a wedding or something.
Everyone
I love
dance
dance.
right away.
Yeah. Yeah, I think probably sing. I'm always singing country songs like Morgan Wallen or Luke Combs or Bailey Zimmerman. I like all those guys. Or Luke Bryant. I went to his concert earlier this year and had front row tickets, so that was pretty cool.
Oh man, all right. I roll.
Yeah, I like singing. It's fun. Like my fiance always tells me I should have been a singer. So
Oh yeah.
a country singer.
There you go. 2025. We
Oh,
got
yeah.
the Extreme Outdoorsman album dropping on y'all. There we
Yeah.
go. Start
Maybe I
that
should
Spotify,
start
baby.
singing while I'm fishing. Nobody does that.
That would be something else.
It would. Just
Yeah,
setting the hook on like a 5-pounder while I'm singing.
Who? I feel like somebody tried to put out a music video.
Really?
Was it Tyler Anderson that tried it?
Oh yeah, Tyler. He always sings. Like he sings a lot in church. I see all the time.
We got future Miss Extreme Outdoorsman. In the
Yeah.
comments.
Think we're gonna get
represent.
married next fall, so that'll
Congrats,
be
buddy.
cool. Yeah, down in Tennessee. So,
Hey, maybe Seth will marry you guys.
oh yeah, that'd be cool. Does he do weddings?
I don't know. I just threw it out there because
Oh, yeah.
one of my best friends, Alex Rudd, one of
Oh,
my
yeah.
best friends, married my wife and I. And so it's funny just when you have just random
Yeah.
people that.
Yeah,
make
my
sense
buddy.
to
Yeah, my
marry.
buddy Blue Jays. He has that like certification where he can marry people. So we thought maybe ask him since we know him, and it'd be pretty cool.
Hey, one tip for you, and this is for everybody tuning into this. So for anybody that plans to get married or is engaged currently, that my wife and I missed this boat on was send an email or mail to all your favorite sport teams, brands, things like that, because chances are with how much stuff they get, you could luck out and get free game tickets, like care packages from brands, things like that. It's crazy the stuff that you can get out of it, but we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
To a bunch of different people. Even we know, like people got free Bills tickets because they were getting married and they sent mail to the
That's
Bills. and they sent
crazy.
it.
I
Yeah, so-
always see like videos on like Instagram or TikTok where like people are getting married and they'll DM all their like famous celebrities to like come to the wedding or like send them, like you said, like send them gifts. Or I thought that'd be kind of funny to do. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I've seen that part too, where it's like email all these rich people because they're
Oh, yeah,
assistants
yeah.
get it, and they send something because they just don't want to be jerk.
Yeah.
I wasn't really going that. You could definitely do that too. It's smart, but it's definitely cool to do like the whole sport team route or like country singer or whatever.
Yeah, maybe I'll
cool,
get
man.
some Lions tickets or something.
There you go. Hey,
Yeah,
worst
I
case,
need to. They're so expensive now. I can't afford that.
Dude, buddy, it's expensive to watch from the couch these days.
Oh yeah, it
That's the
is.
downfall of having a good sports team. All right,
Yeah.
like kind of happens.
Yeah, tickets used to be like $20 a go because they just had to fill the seats.
There you go. Yeah. See, Brandon Dorn here says we did that. We got free Brewers tickets and some pretty sweet seats.
Yeah,
there you go.
What's the line? I was checking tickets the other day, and it was like $700 a seat for the Lions. It's ridiculous. Dang.
I'm glad I live in Buffalo still. Like, even though the Bills are great, like you can still find tickets to games for like $1.50. If you get really lucky and scour the internet before kickoff, you can get them like 2-3 hours before. You can get them for like 60, 70 sometimes. Till the new stadium is finished. I'm sure that's done, but we'll see.
That's a double-edged sword for you Lions fans now, as your team is freaking sick.
Yeah. I love their coach. He's the best.
Just gonna bite some kneecaps, you know?
Oh yeah. I love when he says that. And everybody chanting Jared Goff all around the country and like every stadium now. It's hilarious.
It's everybody. I don't think, unless you're like in the division like Packers or Minnesota, you might hate Dan Campbell. But I can tell you as an Eagles fan, I love Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I'd run through a brick wall for Dan Campbell. Like it's definitely a fun team.
Dan Campbell's a beast. He's just so likable. How could you not like him? You know?
Yeah.
And he just loves all his players. He was on the team back when the Lions went 0-16. So I think that's even cooler for him because he's like helping the team grow and just making a path for him. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, that's a coach you want to play for.
Yeah. Could you say that was Miami's biggest fault, was not hiring him full time when he got the interim tag and let him go?
Yeah. Probably.
He dodged a bullet leaving Miami. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. Hopefully they win on Thursday against Green Bay. It'll be a pretty exciting game to watch. It's going to be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I mean that, and then they got the Bills too.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy.
That one's gonna be wild. I would love to go to that game, but I'm not paying $700 a ticket.
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, if it becomes Lions Eagles for NFC Championship, I might pay to go watch.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
They might kill each other before they make it to the Super Bowl.
Good.
Did you guys see that Ohio-Michigan game?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was intense, dang. And when they tried to plant a flag in Ohio State's field, that was crazy.
You see the two guys got pepper sprayed?
Really?
Two Ohio State players got pepper sprayed by a cop in the middle of that.
Jeez.
Fantastic.
Because it was windy that day, the field got pepper sprayed.
Dang.
Oops.
Yeah, that
cop might have got fired for that.
I would imagine he got some sort of reprimand. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. Let's keep going on here. Andy, what you got?
Got it. All right. So would you rather use a spinning rod or a casting rod for the rest of your life?
That's tough. Probably a cast. I don't know. Maybe a spinning. Because I love
carefully.
Drop. Yeah. That's a hard one, dang. I love catching smallmouth on drop shots, but I guess you can drop shot possibly on a bait caster, you know? I don't know, maybe a bait caster because I love top water bites with like a whopper plopper or a frog, or you can't beat a top water bite, you know?
Yeah.
Just makes people giggle.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. Even if they like when they miss it, you're like, holy crap, that was crazy, you know?
Stupid fish.
Yeah, like when you're out with your buddies or something, you're just laughing the whole time out on the boat. That's the best. I love getting out with your friends or something and just catching all kinds of fish. You can't beat that.
Yeah. Well, I guess to add on top of that, we had one here for you that was, would you rather only be allowed to throw big baits on spinning rods, or only throw finesse / Ned rigs on casting gear?
Dang, that's tough. I don't even know. I've never thought of that.
We went down the deep hole for this one.
Throw big baits on.
Could you imagine trying to like walk a frog in reeds with like action spinning rod?
Yeah.
65.
What the heck? Yeah.
It's like a surf rod, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'd probably have to say a bait caster again. Because how am I going to throw a big glide bait on a spinning rod, you know?
And they make rods big enough.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Probably. Because you can throw like a tube jig on like a bait caster, you know, for smallmouth. I normally always take a spinning rod for my tubes and stuff, but I've taken out a lot of people over the years that'll show up with like a bait caster with a tube. I'm like, that's crazy. I've never done that before.
That's how Jason Christie won there a few years ago in St. Clair, was cracking a tube on a casting rod.
That's crazy.
It's fun.
I've always thrown tubes on spinning rods. That's just all I ever known, you know?
Yeah. I don't think I throw tube on a spinning rod anymore. It's just bait caster with 12-pound test.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
just
throw
more
all
leverage.
Yeah. That's true. That makes sense. It just looks so much cooler with a spinning rod, I think.
Until they jump and that big weight's going everywhere and it flies back at you. That's the only reason why I went to it. Like, I was like, I'm tired of losing fish when they come up jumping with a spinning rod. So I went to like a 7.6 medium heavy, a soft medium heavy, and 12-pound, and 8-to-1 gear ratio. And you just stick the rod tip in the water and just keep reeling. And
that makes sense.
You land about 90% more of them.
Yeah, especially on like fluorocarbon, because when you got the braid on, it's no stretch or anything. So that's one thing I just really started doing the last couple of years. Like growing up, I loved throwing braid to fluorocarbon leaders, you know. But over the last few years, I just lose so many huge smallmouth right at the boat, or while I'm fighting them. And my dad will always say, "What are you doing? You need to switch to fluorocarbon because of stretch," you know, because he always throws
casting or spinning?
Casting.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I have any spinning all fluorocarbon. Do you guys?
No, because it just
it goes everywhere
all the time. Yeah.
I think the only time I really see too many people throwing straight spinning on or straight fluoro on spinning now is like for like spy baits or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't last very long.
Yeah, it doesn't. Or like, I guess I put that on for like my ice fishing rods, but I'm just going for like little bluegills and stuff, you know. Little. Yeah.
Shoot, it's probably almost about that time for you guys, right?
Yeah. I just drove around today and like all the lakes around here frozen over already. It's crazy.
Shoot, you got safe ice yet?
No, it just yesterday it was open, but today, probably last night it got super cold, you know, and it froze overnight. So probably I looked at the forecast for like the next few weeks and it's supposed to be below freezing for like the next week and a half, 2 weeks. So we should probably have safe ice by next week, I think.
Yeah, maybe even if it's like in the low teens, you'll probably have safe ice
this weekend. Yeah, it gets thick fast. So I'm excited to get out there and do some ice fishing. I love ice fishing.
Ice has always been one of those things where it's like, unless the bite is hot, if I'm going, it's to drink beer with the buddies. That's about it.
Yeah. I always bring beer, like hard cider or something, and it's just fun hole hopping with a little rod, going to catch like perch or walleyes or like crappies or something. It's fun.
Yeah, right.
But
you work with a cider company, don't you?
Yeah, Blake's Hard Cider. I've been working with them for probably like 4 or 5 years now. So
nice.
Yeah,
That's
it was just, it's a cool story behind it because it was like a really old like farm, and like they just decided to start making hard cider probably like 10 years ago or something. And I used to go to that farm as a kid. We'd go get our like Christmas trees or pumpkins or like apples or like, and then I just reached out to him and was like, I've been coming here for years. I'd love to partner up with you. And the owner is super cool. He's big into deer hunting and fishing. And I guess it all worked out. So everybody loves me there. Sweet.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
I love their stuff. They make some really good drinks. Have you guys tried them ever?
I have not.
No. They're probably, are you both in New York?
Yeah, we're both right outside Buffalo.
They're probably in New York. I think they're in all 50 states now.
I'll give them a shot just for you, but I'm usually not excited.
The triple jam's the best, probably, or peach party. That's what I got
Peach
in
party?
here right now. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sounds
it's
actually pretty
good.
intriguing.
Yeah.
I'll give it a rip. I'll give it a look around, see what we got.
Yeah. Maybe if you come out here to St. Clair one time, I'll bring a pack for us.
There we go. I'll come snatch one like Spotted Cow in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Bring that sucker back home.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Heck yeah, dude. All right. So next one we got for you is would you rather sip gin with Ryan Reynolds or shoot tequila with The Rock?
Probably tequila with The Rock. I like The Rock. He's cool. And he posts fishing stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to hang out and talk fishing and just hear about how he got so big, in like his acting world and everything. I think he started with WWE, didn't he?
Yeah,
he's football or something.
He was WWE. Well, he played college football for Miami Hurricanes, so the University of Miami.
Yeah.
And then never got, or he did get a football offer, I think, for the USFL or something like that. That didn't work out. Was wrestling semi-pro, I believe it's labeled as, I think, semi-pro. Yeah. Got an invite to WWE, and then basically just screw this and go work on acting.
Yeah, I really like him. All the movies he's in and everything. How could you not like that guy? He's just a likable guy, I think, and he's always happy, it seems like, in all the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a super hard worker. It seems like he's always in the gym working out,
He's got to be one of the world's most busiest human beings.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's insane. Yeah. With all the movies and everything he's in. It's crazy.
That one right there was, when I saw that one, I'm like, that's going to be a hard one because I'm a Deadpool fan, because Ryan Reynolds is freaking hilarious. But
yeah, he is. I like that guy. He's cool.
Yeah.
I've never even seen that movie.
What?
You've never seen Deadpool? Oh, jeez.
No.
Dylan, I want you to leave this podcast right now and go watch all three in a row. It's your homework.
You will never see so much like CGI blood and gore in your life, and just straight vindictive comedy.
I watched that one new series called The Boys. Have you seen that?
No,
it's super good. It's about like superheroes, and they're supposed to be like really good, but in reality, they're like behind the scenes. They're like killing all these people, and like it's crazy, and it's super like bloody and everything too. It's insane. It's called The Boys. That's who me and my fiance were for Halloween this year.
Oh shoot! No, I don't know if I know.
Yeah, that's like probably the best show I've ever seen. Probably.
The Boys. Let's see.
Yeah, it's super good.
Oh, okay, that's what this is. Yeah, no, I've seen like memes and stuff from it. I've never actually seen the show itself.
Yeah, you guys would like it. It's super good.
I'll have to give it a shot.
So, are you guys still fishing over there, or no?
For now.
Yeah.
For now, Erie's still open if you can get out. If the wind would ever stop.
Yeah, it's horrible right now. The wind, it sucks.
Yeah, we're
gonna windy every day.
60 to 70 mile an hour winds tomorrow night in the lake. I know a guy I know got out today and caught 2 7s, but he was in 6-footers, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going out there.
Jeez, that's crazy. And me and my dad tried going out the other day for muskies, and there was probably 4-footers. I was like, geez, this is intense. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
I'm in a Ranger and it won't sink, but dang, this is kind of sketchy.
You're getting wet. It's
Yeah. Oh,
uncomfortable.
yeah. We were soaked in the water. The wind was going right into the shoreline we were at. So it was just straight chocolate milk, you know. So
Mm.
we were like, why are we even out here? We pulled up to the boat ramp and it's normally like packed, you know, like 60 to 100 trailers, and not even one trailer was there. And we were like, well, that's not a good sign, dang.
Nope.
But we were like, we gotta go out for at least an hour.
Yeah, you gotta
'Cause
get a
we
rip.
drove all the way out here. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, just send it out there.
Just saying.
That's where you make a U-turn and go to the closest inland lake that
Oh,
has
yeah.
muskie and try.
Yeah, that's true. There's some good inland lakes around there too. So
Heck yeah.
Hmm.
All right, Andy, what we got next?
All right. Would you rather die in 20 years with 0 regrets or live to 100 with a lot of regret?
made these up.
That'd be
Some of these
this-
I got on the
this
internet. I
guy.
can't
Yeah.
say all. Some of them I came up with. There's some I didn't.
I guess I'd probably die in 20 years with no regret. I don't like looking back and thinking, man, I wish I would have done that, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the worst feeling in the world. It like eats me alive. Like, even if I don't go to the gym every day, I feel like I'm like a horrible person or something. Because I'm so addicted or trying to eat good. I always, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think of like I better do it now or I'm gonna regret it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I feel that because I have a similar mindset. They say that's actually a good mindset to have, although
Yeah.
when you feel it, it feels a little unhealthy when you have
Yeah.
that mindset. 'Cause it's like
Yeah.
it's almost because what I would do, and I'm still horrible with this, but like growing up as an athlete,
Yeah.
I forced myself basically like if I didn't go train that day or whatever, I'd make
Yeah.
myself feel guilty,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
that guilt would make me go do that thing.
Yeah.
And then, but there's times where that's really not a healthy way to look
Yeah.
at things.
Yeah.
But even till to this day, like I hear you loud and clear of what you're saying.
Yeah, me too. Growing up, like you said, I was an athlete too. I played like all sports in high school and played in college for a while, and just not going to work out, it just eats you alive, you know, or it's just in the back of your head thinking, man, I wish I would have done that today or something.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. That is the worst feeling.
Yeah.
Well, here's, I guess to go with that, with feeling here. Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
Probably read because I'm already not good at reading, really.
Is that Michigan education? That you're
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, probably. Maybe it's just my accent, but I don't know. Growing up, me and my brother, because I have a twin brother, you know, my
Yeah.
mom and dad said we didn't even talk to anybody else till we were like 4. And like, you know, you should start talking by like 2 or 3, I think. And me and Hunter didn't talk to anybody else besides me and him. We had like our own like twin, like we wouldn't talk to anybody else. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Your own language and dialect.
Yeah, maybe that's why we talk
Extreme
funny or
gibberish.
something. Yeah, probably.
You're in your own nation. You're in your nation
Yeah.
growing with your own language.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
amazing.
cool having a twin too, because like I've got like fans all over the country and stuff, and he's always traveling for work because he works on the gas and oil pipeline, so he's all over the place. And he always will like call me up and be like, "Hey, I just ran into like one of your subscribers and like in like Tennessee," or like he told me the other day him and his wife were over in North Carolina at the bar, and he went into the bathroom and he was just using the urinal, and some other guy walked in and was pissing next to him and was like, "Hey, I have a question. Are you extreme outdoorsman?" And he was like, what the hell? How do you ask me that in the bathroom? And he was like, the guy asked if I could get a picture with him while we were in the bathroom. What? That's the weirdest thing ever.
That's just the beer
Time and
talking.
place, bud. Time and
Yeah,
place.
yeah, for real. Yeah,
Or
funny,
it's just North Carolina.
oh yeah, probably. Yeah, but it's
Dude.
cool because like I have like a clone that will run into like fans too, and he'll meet people and talk to them and get pictures with them. So I always think that's pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
Dude, that means shoot, you just got to give him a little cut and have him go do all
Oh
your
yeah, for
marketing work
real.
for you.
Yeah, dude, double the filming and everything. I give him like a bunch of hats and stickers, so whenever he runs into people and stuff, he'll hand out like extreme stickers or hats to people. So that's always pretty cool.
That's awesome.
dude. Heck yeah. Andy,
Yeah,
what we got
that's
next?
cool.
All right. Would you rather have all of your messages and photos leaked publicly or never use a cell phone or technology again?
What? I
That's a
guess
great
maybe.
reaction.
Really, probably just my pictures leaked because I already post like my whole life on social media.
It's already out there.
Yeah, I post everything, my workout pictures, like my life just outside of fishing. You know,
Yeah.
I guess I probably have some crazy videos and pictures on my phone, but you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is, really. People are gonna like it or they're not. Just like your social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very
guess.
true.
Yeah.
It's not the photos that worry me. It's the messages that worry me.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
college buddies.
Yeah.
That's the thing that worries me.
Just
Yeah,
you
me
never
too.
know what's coming there.
Somebody could find an old message from like 10 years ago and ruin your whole life, you know?
Yeah, sure. Especially like during like the heavy cancel culture days when everybody was inside during COVID, and they're like they'd find the tweet from the NFL quarterback from 12 years ago. And what was it? John Gruden got fired because of something he said, like was it in the
It's
email
insane.
15 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, how does that even happen? People find all those crazy emails and will post them for the whole world to see, and they could ruin somebody's whole career. It's insane.
That's the only reason why Josh Allen fell to the Bills.
Yeah.
Because his Twitter leaked like on draft day.
Really?
It was wild. Yeah, they make videos about it still, like some of the stuff that him and his friends were posting on his Twitter. It was hilarious.
I've never heard about that. What was he saying?
Oh, just all kinds of like derogatory things. And the funniest part is AJ McCarron was on the team with him at the time, and he was talking about like how hot his wife was. It's like, that's funny.
That's crazy. Yeah, me and my buddies are always texting crazy shit, so that probably wouldn't be good to get leaked.
Yeah.
You gotta do that stuff though. It's fun. Keeps us all human, I guess.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. All right. So we got, would you rather go on a cruise with your boss or never go on vacation ever again?
I guess go with my boss, probably. He's pretty cool. I just started a new job, actually. So it's pretty cool. My boss is probably the coolest boss I've ever had.
What do you guys do?
I just started working for a company in town. It's called Noda. And I just drive. It's like a government-based job. So I just drive around old folks all day, and I'll pick them up from their house and take them to go get groceries or take them to their doctor's appointments or wherever they need to go, really. And then I'll just hang out while they're in there shopping for like an hour and then just take them home. And it's like the chillest job I've ever had. I'll bring my computer and do all my editing while I'm sitting in a van waiting. Or it's a pretty sweet gig so far. I like it. I just work 4 10s right now, so it's perfect for my life, and I get insurance and everything. So that was a big factor for trying to find a job.
So basically, what you're telling me is you're the retirement home Uber.
Oh yeah, for real. It's
Yeah, that's
sweet.
awesome.
And I love it because I get to hear all these old folks' stories. They got the best stories ever.
What I
I
love
love
about that too
talking to
is not
old
only
folks.
yeah, well, and that's the best part is like not only do they have some of the best stories, is
Yeah.
like you never have to ask them to tell those stories.
Oh,
They're gonna
no,
tell you whether
no,
you like it or
yeah,
not.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I just love helping people, so it's fun. Like the van, it's a super nice like vehicle that I'm in, like a brand new 2024 or something, and there's like a lift on it, and some old people obviously need like a lift into the van, so I don't know. It's always fun just helping them get in and out. And if they didn't have that service, they wouldn't even be able to go anywhere. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool helping people out and stuff. I like it.
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Have you thought
Yeah, my
about
boss.
taking the extreme thing full time?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about it possibly next year actually, because I guess I haven't really told anybody about this yet or anything. I haven't posted about it or done anything really, but earlier this year I went to school for the US Coast Guard and got my captain's license. So I'm gonna start guiding next year and see where that goes. And it should be pretty good because I get messages, thousands of messages and DMs of people saying, I'd love to go out with you on St. Clair or Saginaw Bay or just around here. So I think it's going to be a really big thing. I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah, man.
Awesome.
Shoot, if Andy can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. It should be
10
pretty
times the
sweet.
following that I have. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it all works out. And I'm working on a few new sponsors for next year. So it should be pretty cool. I'm excited about 2025. It's going to be a good year.
Heck yeah, buddy.
I'm
That's
pumped
awesome.
for it. Yeah, I've already like sort of done guiding. I've never like I can't actually charge to take people out, yet. But like over the years, I've taken so many different people out from all over the country. I'll have like guys fly in from California or Georgia. I'd had people come in from California, Rhode Island, and pretty much everywhere. And I've got almost every person on their PB. So it's pretty cool. It's a good feeling when you take other people out and get them on big fish. Feel like that makes me even more happy than me catching one.
right.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to do that. And then also my social media stuff, all my YouTubing, and it'll be fun. I'm
Heck
pumped.
yeah, dude. Yeah, there's definitely something more to whether being behind the camera or
Yeah.
being with somebody when they're catching a big one.
Yeah. It's
this
the
is-
best feeling. You just can't beat that when you see like a little kid catch a monster and he's just smiling ear to ear.
Yeah, it's infectious.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a few years ago, I took out these two guys in the MLB. That was pretty cool. One of
That's
them
cool.
was on the Detroit Tigers. You guys probably know them. It's
I don't follow
Roger.
baseball.
Well, they're just their dads in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Roger Clemens. Do you
Oh,
know
yeah,
who
I do
Roger
know.
Clemens is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. His son actually DM'd me on Instagram, and I was just looking through my DMs and I was like, who's this Cody Clemens guy? I've never heard of him before. Like on the Tigers, he must be like a rookie. And he was like, hey, like I'm on the Tigers and my brother's coming in from town from Texas. Like, I'd love to get out with you one day. I've been following you for a while. And I just looked up his name on Google and it was like son of Roger Clemens. It's like, geez, that's sweet. So I took
yeah.
both of them out and got them on all kinds of fish. It was pretty cool.
Heck yeah, dude.
It's awesome.
That's sick.
It was fun.
Andy, do we have any more of the would you rathers before we hit dealing with our last question of the night?
I think we have one more. Would you rather be invisible or be able to read people's minds?
I think invisible. I've always thought that was cool. Like watching all this like movies and stuff where people go invisible, like Invisible Man or something.
Yeah.
That'd be
No.
pretty cool to be invisible and just go wherever you want to go whenever, or like go to Area 51 and see what's in there or something.
Well, they'd probably know you were there.
Oh yeah, probably heat sensors or something.
Think about all those private ponds you could fish now.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that'd be super cool. Yeah, I think that'd be probably way cooler than reading people's minds. What do you guys think?
I feel like the reading people's minds one sounds intriguing, but then you go to certain individuals where it's like, I think I'm better off not knowing what they're thinking. You know what I mean? Visibility is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You can really Irish goodbye people then.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Just be invisible out on the boat. Everybody would just see a ranger flying by with nobody in it, you know?
True definition of ghost riding.
Oh yeah, for real. Like, where's that boat headed?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you can go to a countless amount of Detroit Lions games for free.
Yeah.
You never even know you're there.
Yeah,
you could be on the field watching the game. You have no idea.
Until someone bumps into you.
Yeah.
But they don't know. It's just a random.
What is this invisible wall?
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. Well, Dylan, seriously appreciate you taking time out to join us here tonight. And like I mentioned, every time it's somebody's first time on the show, we always have the question to lead in. We have a question to exit out here, and that is, if you could invite 3 different individuals to have steak, have a beer, pick their brain. These 3 individuals do not have to be in the fishing industry. They could be alive 1,000 years ago, could be alive today. It doesn't matter. Any 3 individuals, who would you pick for steak and a beer? Pick their brain.
That's a hard one to hang.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Never give any warning. We're nice like that.
I don't even know. I guess one of them would probably be Jared Goff. That'd be pretty cool to hang out with him and, I don't know, have a talk about football or fishing or how he like got so good at football and everything. I guess maybe Jared Goff.
Did you ever see that clip of him posing as the college or the JUCO player or whatever, the quarterback that came in?
No.
I'll have to let me set a reminder. I'll find the video, I'll text it to you. It's hilarious.
I guess I'd have to think.
Yeah, they did that after Eli
question.
Manning did the one at Penn State. Did you see, like, completely off topic, did you see they're making a TV show off of the character of Eli Manning when he went to Penn State? I was like,
really?
That's gonna be so
Was that
fun.
like the Blue Mountain like show or not?
I'm not exactly
No,
sure.
not to that extent. Not Blue Mountain State. That's all.
Yeah. That show is hilarious.
That show's pretty rowdy. Yeah, for kids growing up, it is not an accurate depiction of what college is actually like.
I guess another one. Like, I looked up to him in baseball, Roger Clemens. That'd be kind of cool. And I took his sons out fishing. Yeah, so that'd be cool to pick his brain and talk to him. And that's a hard question. I guess it'd be cool to hang out with KVD probably.
Shit, you gotta be right down the road.
Yeah. He lives probably a few hours away from me, so.
Shoot, you're invisible. Go fish his pond.
Yeah. Had a steak with Zona earlier this year. That was fun.
I'm sure that was a trip.
Yeah, me and him and Seth and all the camera guys and Brian.
Oh, Brian.
We all after the when we went and filmed on St. Clair and everything. He was like, let's all celebrate and go have a big steak. So we all went and had like the fanciest steak ever. Zona was like, get anything you want. It's on me. Holy crap. Awesome. Yeah, it was fun. Those guys are cool.
Not often that opportunity comes around.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Heck yeah.
It'd just be fun to be a fly on the wall for that one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there were so many cool stories shared.
Oh, yeah, there was. Yeah. that was a lot of fun just hanging out with those guys on the boat all day and seeing how they make their shows, and it was super cool.
Heck yeah. Well, dude, seriously appreciate you taking the time out to join us tonight. Sorry it took 5 years to get you on here,
Yeah, it's
but it
fine.
will
That
definitely
was
not
a
be
lot of
5
fun.
years for the next one, buddy.
Yeah, that was super fun. Thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it. I love doing podcasts and everything, so it was fun. We'll have to hang out sometime, or whenever we go to all the big fishing shows like the Classic or ICAST, we'll have to grab dinner or something. It'd be
Heck
fun.
yeah, dude. Let's make it happen. I got something in the works too for 25. That'll be cool. I'll run it by you offline here, but
All right.
yeah, we'll definitely make something work for sure.
Sweet. All right. Well, have a great night, guys. I appreciate it. That was fun.
Yeah. You too, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Thank you.
See ya.
There you have it, folks. Dylan Grubb from Extreme Outdoorsman. Such a good dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy the different stories you can get into, especially from the different walks of fishing. But man, it's when you see the different lanes of the fishing world come together, like you're talking about, like having Zona, have him be like the camera boat, and then he does the YouTube thing. Seth Fighter's the pro, Brian Evie's the camera guy, like all 4 different lanes of fishing.
Right.
So it's cool to kind of to show this stuff. We're on a show here, Serious Angler, we can get, a pros in the top 5 angler of the year with Cody Huff on to learn and to learn from him, talk through some tips, things like that, and get on a guy like Dylan that is more so on the social media side. You can still learn from him, but it's not like it's a complete shift of conversation, but it's cool to see the different lanes and different personalities that people have and the different where your passions lie in the fishing side. So it's cool for that. And hopefully the people, you guys tuning in, watching, and then the folks obviously listening on the MP3 format afterwards, appreciate that. And we appreciate both Cody and Dylan taking time out tonight to join us here on this show. And we got a couple things to speak about here, Andy, and that is there's a lot of stuff, I don't want to say up in the air, but to look forward to and to anticipate for 2025 with the Serious Angler podcast. And that is a few things we can't let out of the bag just yet. We will, like, confirm we are expanding in regards to some of the things we'll be doing, but also just whether that's format, whether that's live streams or no live streams. You guys let us know that too, because media does change, and that's the one thing that's crazy. And this is like, especially to people like Dylan, this is preaching to the choir here, where it's granted we are a media outlet, you got to change with the media, and that is the one thing that we need to adjust with some of the times and things like that. But with that being said, is production value is going up for you guys. So it's that we're gonna have the same context of Serious Angler. We're going to be working tenfold for you guys in 25. Is harder than we have been in years recent, and I'm really excited for that because we're going to have more time to put into this thing. And we really got to shout out to the partners we have here on the show that are helping us do that, and we got some new ones for 2025 that we're super excited about. But it's we got some crazy things in the works, Andy, and that I'm really excited about for 2025. And
absolutely.
I hate saying so excited, honestly, because it's probably the most overused phrase in all of fishing, where it's, guys, I'm so excited for this new bait launching. We'll figure out a new. I was actually thinking about making a funny reel where it's like, I'm not calling out anybody in particular. I just think it's a funny trend how every pro now before a tournament does, hey, I'm so-and-so here, pro, or day 2 of this tournament, and it's going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes. And it's like, you got 40 pros that put that same reel out. I was thinking about doing it before the podcast, of being like, hey, it's Bailey Agber here. We're got a podcast tonight. We'll see how it goes.
It could be pretty funny.
Yeah. We got some new content ideas for next year that should be pretty fun, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But we definitely are open to what you guys, because we are not a show without the people that listen and tune into this thing. So if you guys have opinion on, if you don't like the live stream, things like that. I know we have a lot of people over in the MP3 side that for you guys, really nothing's going to change. You're just going to get more content. And we'll release that later. And just about, I think, close to New Year's will be episode freaking 500 of Serious Angler.
Insane.
I think it almost lines up perfect with Gen 1. Let me see here, actually, just to confirm while we're talking through here. So we are on episode.
This is
as of last
490,
week.
491.
So so for the MP3 folk anyway, because tonight, obviously for you guys, if you tune in the whole live stream, it's one show here. But how MP3 works is the part 1 and part 2. So with Cody, that's going to be episode 490. And then with Dylan here, it'll be 491. So we'll have 9 shows here. So that's basically 4 weeks. That's another month. That's basically Gen 1. So we'll have episode freaking 500. That's hopefully where we'll unleash all of everything that is new for 2025 for you guys. Because I'm freaking jacked up about it, man. It's going to be a great year, as Dylan mentioned too. It's going to be freaking awesome, some of the stuff that we have in store for you guys. So with that being said, I mean, we got to call out some of the things, especially if you guys are new to the Serious Angler Podcast Network. Yes, we are here at Serious Angler Podcast, but we have 4 different shows. We have 4 different shows here on the network. Andy running one of the great ones we have with the Lure Lab. If you guys haven't checked that one out, it's once a week, every Saturday morning or Sunday morning, whichever day we can get out. On the weekends, we'll call it on the weekends.
It's usually Saturday morning, unless I accidentally put Sunday morning, but it's usually Saturday morning. It depends on how my guiding week has gone and when I recorded, and if it's like 11 o'clock at night by the time I get to edit it, and I have to be up at 4 a.m. the next day. So there are mistakes, and I admit it, but
dealing with Andy, it's like old man Jenkins trying to get there.
And as things expand, it just gets harder.
Oh yeah,
don't get
That's
old.
Right. That's why the team's expanding. That's right.
Don't get old.
Don't get old. We got Biz from the Bass Boat. If you guys check that one out, we get a bunch of industry questions, and Deacon is the reporter on such. And last we got Kayak Fishing Weekly. So for folks, especially on this one, if you guys are into kayak fishing, just know as well, if you have been tuning into Kayak Fishing Weekly as well, the YouTube channel itself is actually moving off of this channel. It's actually going to its own YouTube channel, Kayak Fishing Weekly. That way, and get all the shine, it can get all the attention, because YouTube is a fun but fickle place to put out content right now, where if you have diversifying content, you can either play well with each other, or it can do really well or do really bad and clash against each other. So that's one thing we're trying to do. Is Serious Angler was doing really well with Serious Angler and Biz for the Bass Boat content, and so we are having kayak fishing move to its own platform to give as much attention we can to the kayak fishing side, being that's such a fast growing niche of the fishing industry. And we're really just laying it's completely out open for you guys. But just go over to Kayak Fishing Weekly on YouTube, and you guys can tune into all that stuff there, as well as for MP3 folks. Again, nothing's going to change. So you guys are good there. But Andy, I know it's a little bit short winded of all the changes that we are due to tell the folks, but just know that show is coming. We will have a end of year show and end of 2024, that sort of thing. That way you guys can get all of the updates, things you need for what's to come for the new year for us, because it's crazy that it's already freaking December.
Insane.
It's nuts, dude. But we would not be here without y'all. You guys are amazing. Appreciate every single one of you guys that tunes in live. Appreciate Cody and Dylan for joining us tonight. And folks, appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one.